Welcome back to the Bricklane 500 tutorial series. In this video, we're going to be exploring the stereo linking behavior with Optosync and the sidechain filters, which are critical for understanding how the compression will work with bass-heavy material. When you're working in stereo, you'll want two Bricklane 500s working together, and that's where Optosync comes in. If I engage Optosync on the right unit when two units are next to each other, this unit becomes the master unit, and this unit becomes the slave unit. Whatever parameters you adjust on the left unit will be sent to the right unit and automatically mirrored. You'll see the LED on the slave unit flickers when it's receiving commands, ensuring that Optosync is working correctly. If the units are side by side next to each other in your 500 series rack, no cables needed. However, if they're in two different slots and they're not adjacent to one another, you can use the 3.5mm TRS Optosync jack. However, it is important to note that the side chains will not be linked like they would be if the modules are next to each other. Parameter mirroring with Optosync is only half the story. If you want to prevent image drift and you want to preserve your stereo image, use the stereo link jumper in your 500 series rack. In a 500R8 or 500ADAT, you can take the jumper and fit it over the two pins between slots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. For other 500 series racks, refer to your user manual to understand how to stereo link your slots. Without your 500 series rack's stereo link jumper fitted, the side chains will be different and they will be independent one another. This could change your stereo image. So if you fit the stereo jumper, this will be able to give you the various stereo sidechain options that we allow in the Bricklane 500. Once you've decided how you want to use your Bricklane 500s, now we can delve into the sidechain modes, the stereo linking sidechain behavior options that we have on the Bricklane 500. To do this, we first enable the sidechain modes by long pressing left on the mode switch where the sidechain frequency control would go. It's a 2-second long press. Now the gain reduction meter takes over, and we can cycle by pressing to the right of the various modes. So there are 7 modes in total. The first one, just one single LED, is unlinked sidechains. So that's pretty cool because you can leave the stereo sidechain jumper fit all the time, but this will allow you to use the two Bricklanes independently in this mode when only one LED is selected. It'll be dual mono sidechains or 2 independent units. The rest of the LEDs are different stereo sidechain modes. So the first 3 there, LEDs 2, 3, and 4, when they're lit, this is our difference algorithm. This is an advanced algorithm that we made on the Bricklane 500 so that the Bricklane 500s are talking to each other. And whichever Bricklane 500 at any one moment is doing more gain reduction, the other unit will do the same amount of gain reduction. This can be useful to preserve a stereo image. LEDs 5, 6, and 7 will be traditional stereo sidechain behavior when the sidechains are linked. So this is a mono sum of the sidechain. This may slightly alter your stereo image. However, it is a more traditional way of doing stereo linking, stereo sidechaining, and you have 3 options, which are the same for the difference algorithm. So those options are no filtering, which is, for the difference algorithm, 2 LEDs. You have 3 LEDs, which is a 5.4 kilohertz sidechain low pass filter. 4 LEDs on the difference algorithm is a 2.7 kilohertz sidechain filter. 5 LEDs will be the traditional mono-sum sidechain behavior with no filtering. 6 LEDs will have the 5.4 kilohertz low pass filter, and 7 LEDs will have the 2.7 kilohertz low pass filter. So the low pass filter is useful because short wavelengths are very fast and it can cause the sidechain to react too quickly. So by filtering that out, where typically those frequencies don't activate the compressor as much, you'll get more consistent sidechain stereo behavior. We recommend the 2.7 kilohertz low pass filter for best results. However, this is up to the user to decide what is best. But generally speaking, the 2.7 kilohertz low pass filter setting on either the difference algorithm or the mono sum will result in the optimal sidechain detection behavior for stereo linking. The Bricklane 500 also has a sidechain filter to stop bass from triggering the compressor too much and over compressing your material or having it overreact to the bass. So we have 4 selections for that. There's off, so no filtering, 60 Hertz, 100 Hertz, and 200 Hertz. Setting the sidechain filter appropriately for your sources will allow the compressor to be smoother and not have the bass heavy stuff be triggering the compressor. It'll allow the vocals and guitars and more mid-range instruments trigger the compressor rather than the very program-heavy bass stuff that might be present in your source material. Bricklane 500's stereo linking modes and sidechain filters give you great control, especially on stereo sources. In the next video, we'll go through the 7 compression modes and show you all their characters and how they work.